Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and let's show you what card I have for you today. So today's card, in fact, I called it the Penguin Playmate Birthday card, but as you can see, there's no penguin on there whatsoever. But this is the Penguin Playmates Designer Series paper, and I think that's what I wanted to show you is a bunch of different stuff you could do. It doesn't have to be a penguin card just to use that Designer Series paper. So then I'm going to use that counting sheep and the sheep die that coordinates with the counting sheep. And let me show you, those are in the Sale-a-Bration catalog, which only has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday's the last day that you can get a reward for your purchase at a Sale-a-Bration. So here it is in the the Sale-a-Bration brochure. There's the counting sheep stamp set and the coordinating die. And it really, the cool thing is you can place a $50 order and get one, or you can place the or you could place a $100 order and get both for free on your order. And then that Designer Series paper that I'm using this time is right here, the Penguin Playmates, which I really do like. I like the paper a lot because, like I said, you can see you have the little penguin and friends, or on the back side is what I like is to me it just looks like birthday patterns. So let's go ahead and let me show you how I made my card. And now it's a really simple card, but the way it opens kind of makes it that fancy fold. Whoop, get in the camera, Kathy. And that, I think, is what makes it fun. So let's start with some stamping. I'm also going to show you a quick way to do a little tag when you're working with the little pieces like this. Let me show you how I like to do my tags. Sometimes, you never know with me, I usually just kind of fly by the seat of my pants, and you never know what you're going to get. But I have a scrap here. This is just a scrap of basic white. This is going to be the inside of my card, so this is 5 1/4 by 4. And before I go on, if I don't get the measurements, or if you miss the measurements, don't worry, they're on my blog, Be Creative with Kathy, and you can find them there. And I'm going to use some Misty Moonlight ink. Now, Misty Moonlight is just one of the many colors that's in the Designer Series paper, and happens to be one of my favorite, so that's probably why I'm using it there. But I'm going to ink up this little sheep that's kind of standing up and celebrating, and I'm going to just set it here on my paper, hold that down, let that ink sink in. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead at this little where it says "You're Amazing," and I'm going to just stamp that down here. In fact, let me get a piece of scratch paper because I'm going to stamp it as close. Oh, this is bad scratch paper. Oh well. I'm going to stamp it as close as I can to the bottom and the inside, and let's see if I can get that on there straight. Yep, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so then on the other piece, on my inside, I'm going to get rid of that first, it's distracting. Have that, so glad it's your birthday. And I'm going to just stamp that in the center of my inside here. There we go. And then with just a little bit of Just Jade, which is another color in the Designer Series paper, I'm going to go ahead and stamp a little hat here on the corner just to give it a little bit of character, a little bit of surprise on the inside. Okay, then with my little hat, I have the Fresh Frieza, which is another color in the Designer Series paper, and I'm going to take the light one and just color in those little circles. This just brings some color into the inside of my card. And then on those sheep with my Misty Moonlight blends, again, now this is the blends markers, which I think are easier to color with than our regular markers, but they all have their purpose. But I'm going to take that, the lighter one, and I'm going to just color in his hoofs to give him a little bit of character. And you can even see I picked the lighter one because it's really still pretty dark. And I want to be able to see a little bit of the, the split in the hooves and stuff like that of the sheep. And then I'm going to color in his ears just to give him a little bit of character. Get rid of that here. Okay, so now let's use the die cuts, or I should say the die set here, to cut out that sheep. Looks like that. And I am going to just go ahead and put a piece of washi tape on there, just so as I pick it up to put it onto my machine, it doesn't move. I think it's a little bit faster for the video too. And then you can also see in my die cuts here, I've already cut out a little balloon out of that fresh freezer just to kind of save some time on the video. Let's put those away. I'm going to bring in my mini cut and emboss machine. I have my plate number 1, my cutting plate number 2. We'll set my little sheep on there, making sure he still looks good. And then a tip for the die cutting machine, if you're having trouble, you have to stagger your plates. Now I suggest you don't have your paper all the way to the top, that helps too. And then just lay this one, let's see if I got them staggered enough. Yeah, and then look how easy that just glides through the machine, like that. Okay. And then put all of that away. And we have our little sheep all ready to go, and our balloon. Let's not lose him either. Put that away. So now with this little piece here, I'm going to just bring in my paper trimmer. And I'm going to kind of look at the runner, I guess the trail that my blade goes in. I don't know what this thing is called. I think I did it one time. But I'm going to line it up so there's not a lot of extra room on my paper here. And you can even look through this hole here to see if it's where you want it. And I'm going to just cut that there like that. And like if you notice, I didn't even measure or anything, but I think it looks pretty good right now. And then without putting this too far, we're going to need that again. But let me just, well, in fact, let me use the paper trimmer, because now we need to trim it to length this way. And sometimes I use my scissors, but I think this time I'm just going to go ahead and use my paper trimmer. So there you go, it looks like that. And then with a little bit of tape runner, I'm going to take and put some adhesive on the back of that. And then I just have a scrap here of Misty Moonlight. I'm going to lay this down here in the corner like that. And take a pair of paper snips. And I think it's easier to go this way first. I'm going to just cut along that edge, giving it the same border that it had on the side. And I think that's the easiest way to make a border. And now it might not be perfect, but that just means that my little sheep have some character in their little sign. And I think, to be honest with you, it looks pretty good. So let's put that away and bring in some more. Oh no, we need that again. So here's my card base. This is 8.5 by 5.5. And I'm going to go ahead and score it. This is the 8.5 up here at the top. And I'm going to score at 2 1/8. Using the lighter blade, the lighter color blade, on both ends. And 2 1/8 right there too. So now, when we fold our card, they should meet in the middle. Like I said, because 2 1/8, well, 8.5 divided by 2 is 4 1/4. Divided by 2 is 2 1/8. So then it looks like that. Now we have a kind of a fancy fold going on like that. While we have it here, let's go ahead and put our inside on the inside. And you know what? Look, my paper's not even cut right. Boy, is that embarrassing. Let's cut this down to 4. Yep. Now my sentiment might not be centered exactly, but I still think it's going to look okay. And it's not. I should have taken an 1/8 off of each side. Or I should have cut my paper right the first time. Anyway, there. Now look how he fits on the inside now. Okay. Rewind. Pretend like that didn't happen. Then I have some other pieces of designer series paper here. And this again is that Playful Mates. It's just the other side like I like for a birthday card. And this one is 1 7/8 by 5 1/4. And I'm going to just lay it right here on this panel. Same thing here to the other side. So far, so good, right? There we go. Looking cute. And then this piece, I believe, is 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. And see, that's where you need to go check my blog and make sure that I have it right. And then if that's true, then the layer behind it would be just 4 by 2.5. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach this to this piece here so you can see it's going to lay like that. And I only want adhesive on this half, so when we open it, so I'm going to lay my piece and I want it just above the halfway mark, and I'm going to just put some adhesive on this side and then on the other side here. And that way, whoops, a little bit on my table, I know that when I lay it here in the center, it's going to have adhesive here where I want it and here and have a nice hold, but it won't have any adhesive back here. It looks like that. It's cute, right? Let's put some dimensionals on the back of my little sign here, or on the back of my greeting, and on the back of my sheep. See if I can find some that has, oh, all my dimensionals are almost gone. Maybe there's enough on here. One, yep, there's just enough, and then I'll start the edges. Although I have some plans with some shaker cards for the edges of my dimensionals too. So then this one I'm going to take and just set it right down here. And then really I want my sheep to go here, but my balloon to go on this side. It kind of gives it some character, I think, than to be on this side. Plus we don't want it to be on this side because we want to be able to open it. So I'm going to put just a little tiny bit of liquid glue on the string down here. That's going to attach to his hand or the hoof. I guess sheeps don't have hands. I guess in my world they might though. And then I'm going to just take a mini dimensional here and put it on the back of my balloon. Okay, and then place, whoops, I forgot to put my sheep on there. I thought he was all here. Set him about there, and then take my balloon here with that little bit of adhesive and kind of just hold it onto the sheep and place that balloon up there like that. And then look how cute. There it is, that simple, just like that. There you go. Whoop, where'd my sheep go? There he is. Alrighty, so as I promised, or maybe I forgot to tell you, I made some other cards along the same line. Let me show you what I came up with on my other cards. So you've seen, if you watch my past videos, you've seen with the Playmates paper where I cut the designer series paper animals out and the little trees and made this card here. I did a video showing you how I made this card, more of the designer series paper. Even this penguin is punched out of the designer series paper. And then here's the same card like I did today, only it's in a landscape kind of mode. Same thing, opens on the other side. And then to show you, you can use other stamp sets. Here I use those party puffins, and look how cute they look with this designer series paper. Gotta love the little puffin with the fish as a gift. Is that not adorable? Alrighty, so there you go. There's lots of card ideas. Hopefully you'll try this kind of fun fold. Like I said, if I didn't get the dimensions right, make sure you visit my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. Thanks for watching. I hope you have a great week, and I'll see you back here Friday with a very simple Christmas card. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.